Hello, YouTubians. This video, I filmed it yesterday and it ended up being 22 minutes long, so it will be significantly shorter today. If you hear some hammering and banging, that's my neighbor Nick across the street working on his car. He's taking the whole engine out. But what I wanted to talk about was the new school year. So school has begun, yay! It's a very strenuous time for everybody, probably the students, the staff, everything. Because there's so much to do. You got to get pictures of everybody, ID cards, and signed up for classes. And then some people don't like the class. I went through that too when I was in school. I didn't like certain classes, so I'd change my schedule. And us teachers have to create now on the computer the entire class. It's called Schoology, and we create the entire class on the computer, and we have to add all the students and remove the students, and we have to add, and we have to create our syllabus and the grade book and add all the students for every single class. So it's pretty problematic for a few weeks. You have to have your paperwork in case you have a substitute come in, so they know what to teach. And so it's just really like kind of rushed to hurry up and get things smooth, okay? Which is kind of weird. It's almost like the military, the hurry up and wait scenario where, you just bust your buns and then finally everything is cruising along fine. New personalities, new students, old students graduated, that kind of thing. But today's is about the rare thing that happens that makes you feel good. So here's my thing. This is a Toblerone, and you notice the size of it. Like, here's my hand. I'm a person who's 5'10", and my hand doesn't even fit around the whole thing. I put it around so that's about where my hand fits. I'm kind of crushing it down. This thing's like a pound of candy, which I love. I'm diabetic. I'm not supposed to eat that kind of stuff. And here's the deal. It's not that somebody gave me candy or a present. It's that somebody thought of me. And this student's name is Fintan. And I had him last year for a class. And he was spectacular. This is one of those kids that he's just super nice and everybody likes him, and he seems to like everybody, and he's respectful, and I hate to use the word behaves, but he's just a nice guy. He's a great guy, really is. He's probably going to grow into one of those guys that's just nobody can say anything bad about. And so Fintan has relatives that live in France, and so his mom is from France, and so his dad teaches at a university that allows him to teach online. So they were able to take the whole family to France for the entire summer. And I can't remember the city that he went to, but he said it had the world's biggest. He said park. I was like, amusement park? Like, did it have a huge slide or something? He goes, no, nothing like that. It's like you go back to where they're living like in the old days, and you participate in that. And it's like the world's biggest like Renaissance festival, where you go back and you're living in the 1800s. And he just said he had a great time, and everybody was speaking French. His family was speaking French. He has people in his family that are bilingual or trilingual or whatever. So they were helping him with English and, French and the translations in between. But anyway, he comes to me in class and he goes, Mr. Marler, I got this for you. And he had no idea that I liked Toblerone. I don't think I ever mentioned it ever or anything. But, for somebody to go through the trouble, like I say, it's not that somebody gave me something. It's that somebody cared enough to go through the trouble. This kid, this 8th grader, had the ethics, the caring to bring this all the way back from France. And I mean, it's not a melted conglomerate of chocolate in here. It's still solid. And that is kind of what I really enjoy about teaching, is not getting gifts. It's that, like, every day there's somebody who, as they're leaving the classroom, excuse me, says, "Thanks, Mr. Marler," and I've been teaching them Photoshop or something, Microsoft Word or typing lessons, stuff like that. And I'm like, "You're welcome. I've been a teacher for you, possibly teaching you something you don't want to know at the moment." And it happens literally every class of every day, and that's awesome. And you got to thank the school system for that. You got to thank the leadership and administration for that. And I never thought I would experience that in a job. So that's really neato. And I've got one student in every class that's loud and boisterous, and you have to consistently remind them to get out of my chair, because as soon as I stand up, they get up and they go sit in my chair at my desk and start playing with stuff on my desk. And I'm like, "Dude, no, this is my desk. I don't play with your stuff. Don't come over here and play with my stuff." They're building robots on my desk, and I'm like, "You got your own desk to build a robot on." But it's cool, because that shows you, they're like trying to connect with you. They're trying, and you have to remind yourself that they're not just doing this to come over and take your space. It's like they want your attention. They want you to be near them and help them through their journey of education. So that's really neat. I had a student today, I said something, because I had met his grandfather the other day at student teacher night. And to me, like, age-wise, obviously it looked like it was his grandfather, but no, but he introduced himself as his father. And so this gentleman was obviously in his 60s, I believe, and this kid is like in 7th or 8th grade. And I was like, "Something about your father, I said, he was goofing off, and I said, "Don't you," because I had been introduced to his father, and I was like, "Don't let your father, catch you goofing off, blah, blah, blah," because he kept coming to my desk and messing with stuff to, get under my skin in a playful way. And he goes, "I don't know my father." And I instantly said, "You know what? I don't know my father either," because I don't. I've never met my true father, And so it was his grandfather helping raise him. He goes, "Yeah, my grandfather used to be a drill instructor for the Marine Corps." I said, "Then you really better not let him catch you goofing off." So it just ended up being a neat thing that I learned about him. He obviously has feelings somewhere that, he doesn't know his father. I kind of didn't growing up. It makes no matter to me right now. Don't care, couldn't have asked for probably a better father than my stepfather, because he was always there for me. He tried to be the best father that he could be for me. I never saw any animosity. In fact, I would really assume that I got away with more, being the step brother and brother to 5 other kids. They were all related and I wasn't, and I probably most definitely got away with the most. As a mama's boy, the youngest of the family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like being amazed at how many kids I come across that are like that, and from broken families and stuff. And you can see it from a different perspective. And you're watching it in their realities, And I see, like we have a small presentation today at school where my principal, Wendy, stands up and kind of goes through a few more policies. We read the Code of Conduct the other day, and they hit on everything. But she just kind of wanted to reiterate, hey, no cussing. No cussing, use smarter, better words. Don't say mean things to people like, "Hey, you fat, ugly slob." Oh, just kidding, because it's not funny. And seriously, don't be a bully. And like, her stance on bullies is like my stance on bullies. I don't play it, and I don't have any sympathy for bullies, really. And I probably should have more sympathy for bullies, because, like she says, a bully is a bully because they've been bullied. But this video is more about gratitude. I'm very thankful for my students and my administration and everybody in my school. We have some new teachers that, I mean, I see them struggling like I was when I started, and I'm trying to be there for them. I give them my phone number. I'm like, you call me whenever you need anything, even if I'm in class and you're in class, at different campuses. Give me a call if you have a question. I will be there for you. And so the good things come. Unfortunately, one of the new hirees spent 30 years with the DPS system, Denver Public Schools. And let me tell you, and if this offends somebody, I'll have to say tough toodles. Denver Public School System sucks. It really does. It would probably be better if they disbanded that and they broke it down into several other school systems. They've been in survival mode since I was in elementary school, and now I'm almost 50. I watched them build a brand new high school for me and my community, and they finally had to sell it to a charter school system year before last, because they couldn't ever control the violence ever. From the day they opened the doors and the gang riots that I witnessed to somebody being stabbed in the lunchroom 3 or 4 years ago. And so people are dying, stabbed and died in the lunchroom. So if this kind of thing is happening to people, imagine what is really happening around that whole school. That's not an isolated incident. That's just the big stuff that hits the news. We had security guards that were hired to be security guards in that school when the day the doors opened, back in 79, 80, something like that. So anyway, back to my school system, I'm really thankful. And for Fintan, this young gentleman who just went so far out of his way to show his appreciation to me, that's really special. And that's what I feel like this school system is. And a lot of times I feel I'm not worthy, because, like, the parents care so much and the teachers care so much, and everybody cares so much. It's really great. So, Fintan, if you ever see this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. It's not, I mean, I'm a teacher. I'm a working professional. I could go buy as many of these as I want, probably from Walgreens. But boy, oh boy, for knowing that this thing traveled halfway around the world in this young man's hands to my hands means a whole lot to me. So thank you very much, and keep them happy.